For the first time in the federal fraud and conspiracy trial growing out of the JEA scandal, a former member of Mayor Lenny Curry's administration took the witness stand today. The case grew out of the potential sale of JEA and a controversial proposed bonus plan that investigators contend would have enriched the two men on trial. The sale would have occurred during Curry's time in office. Sam Musa was Curry's chief administrative officer. He was called to the stand to testify about his role after he left the mayor's office. News4Jax reporter Jim Pickett has been in the courtroom from the start of the trial and has been following this story since the idea of the sale was first floated 6 years ago.
That city hall behind me there, and I tell you, I've known Sam Musa for years. He's worked under several administrations, and he's always told me things just like it is. Well, today, he was here in federal court, and he was talking about his role when he was hired as a consultant after he left the mayor's office. Here's what happened. Sam Musa didn't have anything to say as he left the courthouse today, but on the witness stand, he talked about his role as a consultant for Mayor Lenny Curry and later for Florida Power and Light. He was Curry's chief administrative officer until leaving city government in 2019. Musa says he was hired as a consultant later that year to help draft a wish list of sorts of city projects, roads, parks, and infrastructure that could be funded from the billions of dollars the city would have received had JEA been sold. On the stand, Musa was asked about the yearly contribution JEA currently makes to the city, and he said it makes up a substantial amount of the city's budget, 10%. Musa also told the court that he was also hired in August of 2019 as a consultant for Florida Power and Light to raise awareness of the utility since its parent company, NextEra, was bidding to buy JEA. Musa said on the stand the first he'd heard of that controversial bonus plan, known as the PUP, was from reports on TV and newspapers. He also said he'd never seen anything like this bonus plan before in city government, with assets or part of the profits of a sale going to top executives. Earlier in the day, union leaders also testified. They told the court JEA executives had several meetings with them where they were warned hundreds of employees could be laid off if changes were not made. They said there was lots of confusion and chaos among employees. And when it came to the bonus plan as incentives to help employees, they testified they were never given much information about it, and they were never told of the potential payout it could bring top executives. And after the jurors were released today, something else happened. There was a hearing held because a former JEA board member, Camille Lee Johnson, wanted to invoke her Fifth Amendment rights and not appear for a court hearing. Well, the judge says she will have to appear in court in order to do that, and that could take place tomorrow. Jim Pickett, Channel 4, the local station.